Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. Your buddy CJ here. We're talking about all things automotive industry, car guy stuff, gearhead talk, real gearhead talk right here tonight, you and I. And I'm glad you're all here. Guys, give me a like and subscribe. Please leave your comments. I'll respond to all the comments I can. Listen, we have fun around here. We have a lot of fun, and we talk about cars and trucks. And we talk about cars, and we talk about SUVs. And tonight, we're talking about the Lotus Eletre. Are you kidding me? Let's get right into it. And I'm going to show you this thing. And as you know, on Hot Seat Automotive Media Podcast, we look at things together. This is the fun of it. One car guy to another. And I had the opportunity to check one of these out today. This one, in fact. Okay. This is a Lotus Eletre. This is the R model. This thing is all electric for those that don't know. This is the 900 horsepower version. 900 horsepower all-wheel drive, all electric. Wow, full-size SUV. Okay, it's a sharp-looking vehicle. It's got some aggressive styling cues. It doesn't just look like a blob or a teardrop. No, this thing actually has, some cool styling elements to it. I would say my experience in this, I will tell you, I've owned Suburbans, I've owned Expeditions, I've owned Explorers, I've owned Jeeps, driven a lot of SUVs over the years, and I've owned a lot. I logged a lot of SUV hours. My first impression driving the Lotus Eletre EV was good. It is a comfortable vehicle. Driving it, you wouldn't know you're in a 900 horsepower high performance SUV in normal mode and just cruising around town. Very comfortable. I'm not going to say it lumbers along because it doesn't. It's a confident drive. It's a smooth drive. When you give it the guts, you are told very quickly and you are convinced that you are in a 900 horsepower all-wheel drive vehicle. This thing is wild, for a big vehicle, for an SUV, a heavy SUV. It connects, it goes, it'll melt your face around the pull and the acceleration. But listen, I have nothing bad to say about it. I didn't spend the day with it. I checked it out. I test drove it, thought about maybe putting a deposit on one. I'm still kind of up in the air on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But there's a couple things we got to talk about with this vehicle. Real talk. Let's get into this. Your buddy CJ, always interested in giving you his candid opinion. I want to hear what you think in the comments. But let's also talk about some of the background on this vehicle. Okay, it's a good driving experience. It's cool. It's got a nice interior, plenty of room, all those things. So, did you know Lotus, the English car company? Oh, the gentleman's English car company. But guess what? The Emira is the last internal combustion engine vehicle they're going to produce at this point. This is the future of Lotus, EV. The future of Lotus and perhaps other manufacturers is electric. Okay? And Lotus is not Lotus anymore as we used to know them, standalone company. They are at least 51% owned by Geely, a Chinese company. So your classic Lotus English company, the Emiras, I believe, are still manufactured in England, but everything going forward, EV, is going to be manufactured in China. So just big facts. You just need to know it. We're not going to get into the merits of that. We're not going to get into politics or anything else on this channel. We're talking about vehicles, but it's kind of interesting, good to know, interesting to know, important to know. Who's Geely? Who's Geely? You guys know who Geely is? Leave me comments. Did you know they're like a $20 to $30 billion company? Billion with a B. Geely's a big automotive company, and they own brands like Volvo, Smart, and Lotus, among others, okay? Big manufacturer. Now, Lotus is not a big company. Lotus was never a big company. Lotus never made a lot of cars. They've made, I believe, Lotus guys, I'm not a Lotus expert. Leave me your comments. I think it's less than 20,000 cars, a lot less total in their whole lifetime. But with Geely, and with a 51% ownership stake, make no mistake, they want to go to the moon. They want to shoot to the moon with Lotus, okay? Lotus has gone through phases of financial straits. and they've been on the brink of extinction. It's my understanding. But listen, they've got a big, strong corporate parent. The future is EV. They've got a massive, over $1 billion, almost $2 billion invested just in the factory in China. I believe it's in Wuhan, China. $2 billion to build this thing, to build Lotus EVs, among other things. So there's that. The competition for this vehicle, I thought about it long and hard. Tesla Model X, which if you compare the two, I'm not a huge fan of the Model X. I will say the styling on this all day long. Look at this thing, the Lotus Eletre. Compare it to the styling of a Tesla Model X. Tesla, you lose. Tesla loses to this all day long from an aesthetics, appearance, everything standpoint. There is nothing that a Tesla does for me as a car guy, just my opinion. A Tesla SUV has like very little interest to me aesthetically. There's no passion to it, if that makes sense. I'm not drawn to it. This thing has some styling cues that I can get behind. Look at that color. That's a really cool finish on that car. Look at the wheels. Look at the grille, okay? Look at the nose on that thing. The rear end has some similar styling. It's got a lot of high-tech components to it. The mirrors on this one are all carbon fiber, this being very well optioned and trimmed. Now, it's not cheap. I couldn't get detailed pricing. You can put a deposit on one, but you can't fully configure with pricing yet. So I've been told, but they're saying less than $150,000, you can have the fully loaded one, which is what this one is, the highest performance. What the lower trim packages are actually going to go for, I'm not sure. You figure somewhere around $100,000 to somewhere under $150,000. Obviously, if the fully loaded one is under $150,000, so that's your range. Can you get under $100,000 for one of these? Not sure yet. We'll see when the full pricing specs and details are released. I don't think they are. If you know, leave me comments. Lotus is banking a lot on this. This is the future of Lotus. They're making incredible cars in the Emira's internal combustion engine, but apparently that's it. When the end of the run of the Emira comes in a few years, that's it. Currently, they're going to be all EV. So I had a really good experience driving this thing. I wouldn't rule out buying one. If I felt the need to buy an EV SUV, I would certainly consider this. The range, you know how ranges are. I have a whole other episode on that. But you figure, 200, 300, 400 miles, you're probably not going to get 400 consistently. Can you do 300 miles on this? I guess it's going to depend on your drive mode, like every other EV, and your driving style. Are you on the highway? You're going to lose in an EV. You're going to lose that charge quicker. Your range is going to be degraded. In town, driving with those regenerative brakes, you definitely feel that regenerative brake interaction on this vehicle, okay? You're going to get better mileage, better range, I should say, with the Lotus Eletre driving around town. So that's what I think. Wanted to go on here and spend a couple minutes telling you about my experience checking out and test driving the Lotus Eletre. Guys, I want to hear your comments. Give me a like and subscribe. I'll respond to all the comments I can. Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. Love you guys. Thanks for checking this one out. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.